You've come up through the corridor, and you're now in the room with the 2 green shapes in it.
Cool.
You'll worry about those in a minute.
Wait, so we came through the lower?
You came through the upper door.
The upper door. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So.
Oh yeah, because that's what we explored. Yeah, I'm starting to get it now.
You find yourselves in a large room, well lit with torches. And
cool.
I'm gonna let you guys investigate it or not. Go crazy.
Can I see if there's something like suspicious or interesting or?
Roll investigation.
I'm investigating too.
15 total.
Cool. And what's yours, Swanee?
What's my with investigation?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Your investigation is your intelligence, which is a +4.
+6. And then I've got the proficiency, so that's +6.
Yep.
Damn.
Intelligent characters, guys. Don't knock them.
Yeah, it makes up for me.
Mr. Warhammer. Hey, cool. Okay, so we've got a 15 and a 21. Okay, between the two of you, you're having a look around the room. It's fairly well lit. It's still quite dank because it's underground, but you can see on the other side of the room where the 2 green symbols are, that's on the far side from you. It's quite dark, but there are piles of what looks like old armor and weaponry. And you also see the red dot on the wall near the door you just came in. There's a symbol carved into a tiny piece of the wall.
Cool. Interesting.
Well, I was going to ask, do I know anything about the symbol? Then I realized I'm not very smart.
The symbol looks like this.
Me, do I recognize this symbol?
Do either of you come from Borson?
No.
No.
Then no.
In
Is
that
it a religious symbol?
Say again?
Is it a religious symbol?
Not that you're aware of, no.
Okay.
Although
I've spent some time in Borson. Can I kind of think back and see if I
you can
remember anything like that?
You can roll a I'm going to
be like a history check, or?
Yeah, history. Go for a history check.
Cool, okay. 19 total.
Okay, yeah. You don't know what it means, but you recognise this symbol. It's been carved and painted onto quite a few walls in a few different cities in Borson. You remember some in the town you're in at the moment, which is Stock. And you also remember seeing it in the capital, Lely, if you've been there. If you haven't, then don't worry about it. And in the right hand to the capital, Crownside. But seeing as you've travelled quite a bit, I'll let you decide which ones of those you know. So yeah, you've got the symbol, which is carved in the wall. It's probably about the size of a human palm, the symbol. And then you've got piles of armour and weapons over on the other side of the room.
Can I take a look at the piles?
And there's also a locked door as well. And yes, you can take a look at the piles of armour.
I'm specifically searching for a bow. Any sort of bow.
Any bow, or like similar to the one you had?
Preferably a long bow, because that's similar. But any bow will work.
Roll an investigation check for me.
Investigation? Okay.
Yeah.
That will be a grand total of 9.
Okay, you don't need a great deal, to be honest. You find it, and it is your bow.
My bow. Guys, this might be our stuff. My bow is here.
I'm going to rush on over and look for my gear, especially the holy symbol.
Yeah, can I start looking for the rest of my gear as well?
As you all start pulling apart this pile, you find loads of rusted weapons, old armour, various odds and ends from over the years. Some of it almost rotting away, some of it, you know, centuries old, some of it maybe a few years. And you do find all of your gear.
Yay!
I missed my shovel so much.
Oh, the enthusiasm!
I found my box again.
I'm just gonna stand and kind of make sure my loot is, tuned. Okay.
It's gone slightly out of tune. It's gone slightly out of tune from being
Anything
very low.
interesting?
Say again?
Do we find anything interesting besides our stuff?
Yeah, good question.
Everything else is fairly unusable. There's some pretty cool weaponry there, but it's fairly old and rusted. You can take it with you and attempt to clean it up, but it is fairly old and it's quite damp down here, so a lot of it is very unusable.
Is there anything that anyone really wants to have taken care of?
Say again?
Anyone who sees something interesting in this pile that they really want? Because we might be able to bring it.
Are there any ominous music? No. Are there any extra arrows there that might fit a short bow?
Yeah, there are quite a few extra arrows. A lot of them, like the heads, have gone quite rusty, but they'd still be usable. They just wouldn't necessarily hit as hard.
Are there any arrows for a longbow as well? Besides my own?
No.
Damn it. Is there any gold or something?
Arissa, stop playing that ominous music. You're freaking us out.
Sorry, I'm just gonna make sure it's tuned right.
Arissa, remember the happy song? Could you play that again?
Okay, let me just make sure this is okay.
Okay. I'm gonna stand there and kind of rummage through all of my burglar's pack and my thieves' tools. Check that my woodcarver's tools aren't too rusted already.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's a guitar.
They've only been down there for a few hours, so most of them are fine. The guitar and the lute will have gone out of tune from the low altitude and the dampness in the air, but they'll be okay.
Cool, awesome, that's good to know, thank you. Is all of our golds down there as well, all of our gold pieces?
Yep, everything you had on your person is down there.
Excellent.
I'm going to pick up my belt with my gold pieces in, but whilst I'm doing it, I'm keeping a really close eye on Redo and just kind of staring her down to let her know, this is my gold, and it's nothing to do with you.
Redo ignores you and goes about getting her stuff and just thinking that you're below her. You don't deserve her attention.
And suddenly, guys...
I'm gonna swear under my breath in Gnomish.
And suddenly the music gets a lot less ominous. There were no books down there. Most of the scoundrels who got brought down here to be imprisoned weren't very big readers. You have gathered a few extra arrows, a few extra crossbow bolts, if anyone has one here and there, but other than that, most of the rest of it is fairly unusable.
Cool.
And as you look back around the rest of the room, having put on your gear, listening to the very cheerful music, the rest of you notice the symbol that's been carved into that patch of wall as well. You can't see it very well from this distance because it's not. It is well lit in this corner of the room, but not that well lit. There is another heavy locked door, but those are the two objects of interest in the room.
Can I look through the door, like see what lies behind it, or is it an actual closed door?
No, it's a heavy locked door again, all wooden planks and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So sorry guys, can I go and have a look at the symbol again? Because I've got Thieves' Cant, and I can understand, like, codes and symbols that mean if there's treasure hidden by, or whether there's people that are easy marked, or whether there's safe houses nearby, that kind of thing. So can I use my Thieves' Cant to check the symbol?
Swanee is touching the symbol.
Oh, okay.
So it's currently covered by her palm.
So what you see is the back of her hand.
Wait patiently next to her, but tap my foot a little bit.
Nothing happens upon touching the symbol. You take your hand away. Apricity, as you look at it, there's no code in it. It doesn't mean anything to you. But as you're looking at it, you remember seeing it before, and you remember a phrase that people whispered whenever they saw it in the town or on the walls or in the cities. And you remember people saying, "No wings."
No wings. Okay. So I'm going to divulge that information to my fellows and see if anybody knows what that could mean.
Well, we could whisper it at the symbol. if that's what everybody does.
Cool. When I remember people muttering it, were they muttering it in common? Were they saying no wings in common?
They were saying it in common, yes. This was only in Borsin, and it was in a tone of sort of... It wasn't anything bad. It was more a sort of, "Oh, that's no wings." You know, sort of like, "Oh, that's their symbol." You sort of get the impression this is a group.
Okay.
Oh. So whispering it at the symbol does absolutely nothing.
You can certainly try, but no, it doesn't do anything.
I'm just gonna grunt and go, "Sounds like some cult."
Freedom!
Yeah, if it was in Borsin, then that was that the one? Oh, see, I've not got my iPad with all my screenshots. Let me just scroll down on my computer.
That's
was
okay.
Borsin the one that was ravaged by war?
No, Borsin's the one that's mostly humans.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes,
Same
the one that
question
has
as
two lots. Okay.
Swami. Would it be in any books in libraries or anything like that?
Not that you would have read about. You're more likely to have heard of it. This is more an on the streets thing. It's a sort of, it's not common knowledge, but people know about it rather than it being written in history.
Okay. Does it have anything to do with spells and magic?
Not that you can tell, and not that you're aware of so far.
Okay.
I also know, because I spent a lot of time travelling in Borsin, that a lot of the people that live there are kind of humans, non-magical people.
Yes.
And often there's a lot of prejudice against things that aren't magical. So that could be something. Maybe if it is a bad thing, maybe it is a magical thing, or if it was in Borsin, it might not have any magic in it at all. That kind of tells us.
Indeedy. Apricity, are you still looking at the symbol right now?
Yes.
Could you roll me an investigation while you're looking at it?
Sure. That is 17 total.
Okay, you notice the more you're looking and the more your eyes get adjusted to the room, that the symbol is carved into a tiny piece of the corner, and it's not made of the same material as the rest of the room. It's not made of the stone and dirt that the rest of the walls are. It's made of sort of a single piece of continuous rock. And with your sneaky, thievy backgroundiness, you get the impression that this might be a secret door.
Ooh, exciting. Could I investigate this further? Maybe kind of run... Oh, hang on, what's he doing? Okay. What does that mean?
What does that
Actually, my
do?
eye color just keeps changing. It's a
Because
cantrip.
you're bored.
He's just looking a bit more terrifying right now.
Okay.
I'm
That's
getting
fine.
irritated. We're waiting
Freak
and
me out for a minute.
Does this mean we stop playing together?
I mean, you guys can have been playing.
Last night, but I don't know if you remember that.
You guys can have been playing this entire time if you like. You know, that's fine.
So can I kind of, with my thievy, sneaky expertise, kind of run my hands up and down the symbol and see if I can work out how it might open a door mechanism?
Yep, you can do. Given the investigation you just rolled, I'd say it's a secret push door. You can see where the symbol is. If you put your hand right underneath it and hoik in a certain direction, it will, a bit like in an Egyptian tomb, it will like shift sideways.
Awesome. What kind of investigation role did you do for checking for traps and things? What was that one?
That
Would that
one-
just be a straight investigation?
Checking for the traps in a room is perception, but checking for it when you're right up to it is investigation.
Okay, can I... so I will communicate to everybody and say, hey, this is... And then can I check for traps before I activate it?
Yeah, you can do.
Ooh,
So that's a 17 total.
Yeah, that's cool. It's not trapped. It's just if anyone tries to push it, nothing will happen unless they push it in the right way.
Okay, cool. So, unless anybody else wants to do anything, I'm going to go ahead and push the door in the right place and try and open this secret door.
Redo is now staring at Vitharius's eyes. And Swanee, yes, you can go over there as well. Anyone who wants to can go and stand behind Apricity and roll. You're going to have to roll a strength check, I'm sorry.
Oh no. I might have to get someone to help me
Wait,
in a minute.
do I have to roll for something?
If you're going to help her try and open the door, yes.
I got 15.
I think I'm gonna step away for a second. There might be something in the house.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So you meant you're stepping away from me doing the door opening.
Yeah, it might be a good idea as well.
Okay. So Varric stands back and watches. Is Vitharius helping Apricity with the strength?
I'll stop playing and join in.
Okay.
And, you know,
So roll a strength check, both of you, please. Oh, Apricity, did you get 15 on the
Oh, I
strength?
did. Yeah.
Okay. Then Vitharius, you're going to need to help her.
Uh-oh.
in typical.
An 8. Well, even with that, between the two of you, she just needed another couple. So you managed to push the stone aside and you see another room. And on the wall in front of you, as you step into this room, you see the symbol again, but this time it's painted on the wall. So that anyone who is in the room can see the symbol.
Definitely.
Ooh.
And the room you're in now, that you can see, the purple lines on the floor are dead and decaying bodies.
Whoa.
The red marks are the symbol painted on the walls. And my mouse glitched there, but it's there's no doors. It's all continuous black line. There are dead bodies. None of them look particularly old. They all look like they've been there for maybe a few months or more. And there are some that look fairly fresh as well, as in not even properly decayed yet, and there's a stink. It smells like dead people.
Nice. I'm gonna gag as the door swings open.
I'm not even going to react except to trying to go look for traps.
Okay.
Now.
Anyone looking for traps, roll perception.
Wait, am I in the room as well?
You can be if you want, or you can wait outside.
Yeah, now I'm okay being in the room.
I swear
Okay.
I have bonuses.
Just not right now.
For the sake of the recording, I'm gonna say Swanee has said ritual sacrifice ? Apricity's rolled a 16, Redo's rolled a 15, Vitharius, as he always does, has rolled a 7, and Swanee's rolled a 19. Okay, there are no traps in this room. It looks like a place where people are taken and dumped. You get the impression that this place is unknown to the soldiers who dumped you. And everyone is dead. A lot of their clothes have gone. So the only people who are left wearing clothes look fairly either poor or not that well off. It looks as if the wealthier bodies that you can tell from the more recent ones, they've got fairly well-kempt hair, or it would have been. But they've got like no cloaks on, and even one of them has like no shirt, it looks like, and you can see red marks where they would have had rings on their fingers, but they've all been taken. Barrett comes back for a second and the DM is saying everyone is dead. Well, yes.
We didn't
What
mess
happened?
up.
Oh, it's okay. You're in a room full of dead bodies who've been robbed of all their riches.
It's not us.
Oh. Does my character know this?
If you followed them into the room, then yes. This is the secret door they were opening.
Okay, I'm gonna say he followed in the back, slightly careful, and like with the possibility to still hide in the way.
Okay, and they've done a trap search, and there are no traps in the room either. There's the symbol that was on the door painted on several of the walls as well.
Oh, that was the picture that
Yes.
scrolled away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So does anybody remember when hang on, what was their name? The Walden family disappeared? Because apparently, I remember when we woke up, the Walden family had disappeared, and all the wealthy people had disappeared,
Yes.
and all of their servants.
Yes.
Well, this might just be there.
This
Would
was
this be
around.
them, or was
This was around 10 years ago, so these people are a bit too fresh to have been the Walden
Okay.
family, and as far as you can tell, there are no children. And the Walden family was 2 parents, 2 daughters, and a son.
I'm just writing that down.
Could those of you with a high enough perception please roll me a perception for a listen check?
What do you count as a high enough perception?
Anyone who has a bonus in it.
Okay.
That would be me as well, right?
If you've got a plus in your perception, then yes.
Yeah, plus
Definitely
5.
not me. Mine is
And I am. Oh,
You're
hang
so
on.
good at playing music, darling. That's okay.
Yeah. You don't need it, it's fine, it's fine.
Hmm?
Natural 20.
Oh, a natural 20. Wow. Okay. Those of you who scored a 12 or higher, sorry, Abricity, the 7 had to be passed to someone. Those of you who got a 12 or higher, you hear in the very corner of the room, which is still quite dark because this room has no torches in it. It's only lit by the torches in the room behind you and Swanee's torch that she's brought with her. You hear a sudden movement. Like, you
Do
don't...
I see what happens with my dark side?
Yes, yeah, I've got dark vision too.
I'm gonna say you look up as you hear the noise, and you hear it just sounds like a quick scuttle. Like something taken by surprise, almost like a cat, when you startle it kind of thing. You two look up, and anyone else with dark vision as well, and not low light, just dark vision here because it is quite dim, and you see a very small, thin shape crouched over one of the bodies in the far corner.
Oh, yo, what the fuck is that?
With a small thing, what? Sorry?
A small, thin shape, like,
I'm equipping my shield and
Yeah,
basically
I'm
keeping
gonna
my
knock an
eyes
arrow in
dead
my
on it.
short
How big is the shape? Cat size, human size, says Swanee?
it's a little bit bigger than Apricity.
Okay.
I'm just obliviously playing music in the background.
Yeah,
That's cool, that's gonna keep
she's
us
still in the
calm.
room where your armor was. Ba-ding, ding, 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 ba-ding. She's working on the song for next week,
Awesome.
which
I'm going to use thaumaturgy again, and then I'm going to, in a very loud and intimidating voice, demand that it reveal itself.
okay. As you do this, I'm gonna say, Swanee, out of interest, you're holding your torch a bit closer so people can all see further. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, as he says that, the shape sort of slightly, slowly and timidly rises to its feet, and as the torchlight slowly hits it, you see it's a very scruffy human boy. Probably about 10 years old, maybe 12. And he's holding several rings and a gold necklace, which he's plucked off one of the recent bodies, which was at his feet.
What kind of clothes is the kid wearing? Is he look really, really poor, or is he wearing some nicer clothes?
He looks not so poor that he's in any financial trouble. He just sort of looks a bit street urchin dirty. He's a bit grubby. You also notice that he's got the symbol stitched into the shirt he's wearing. Well, I say shirt. It's more like a tunic shirt that he's wearing.
Oh, okay.
Can I get an arrow ready, like at my bow? Just not like ready to attack, but
Yeah.
fairly close to that.
Well, what are you doing here?
Are you asking him, Swanee?
Yeah, I'm asking the kid. What are you doing here? How'd you get here?
The kid eyes you all up, and he looks at Vitharius several times, and quite inquisitively, and then sort of annoyed, he stuffs the gold rings and things into his pocket, reaches into a pouch at his neck, and throws something into the middle of the room. And can you all roll initiative for me?
Whoa, okay.
Oh, good.
24.
Cool.
What do you add to initiative?
At level 1,
You roll a d20?
You roll a d20, and at the moment, because you're level 1, unless you have a feat, you shouldn't be adding anything, really.
Not even Huh?
Unless it tells
you
you.
add dex.
If it tells you to add dex, then add dex. Some people don't, or they might have changed that, but some people, it'll say nothing at
I
all.
think in the rule book it says you add dex.
Kaz
Yeah,
says you add dex. I like having listeners. It helps me with not having to get my book.
So I add dex.
Yes.
Yay.
Unless
Then I was correct with my 24 total.
that's okay then.
Oh, I'm at 15
Basically,
total.
some people will have a thing that says they add more, but most of you it should just be the same. No, just add your actual dex.
Oh, your actual dex.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, what? In that case, I would have had a 39.
What?
Well, if you add the
Yeah, modifier.
actual...
It's the modifier.
It's the modifier. It's the modifier. Sorry. It's the
Not
one
a
that.
saving throw.
It's the one that you add, not because it's not a save. I'll start again. Because it's not a saving throw. It's not the big one. It's the normal one. Sorry, that's what I mean when we say base.
Yeah.
It's the normal one, not the
The little round number.
the smaller one, not the larger one.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so has everyone given me their numbers?
Yeah, mine's 15 total, not 13.
Mine
I'm 24.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going first, it seems.
That seems it.
Okay. So it's gonna go Varric, and then Redo, and then Swanee, and then Apricity, and then Vitharius. And I'm assuming, Arissa, that you're still not in the room?
Yeah, but I got 10 anyway for initiative, so I'm going last regardless.
Yeah, so either way, you're at the end, that's cool.
Wait, was it...
kind of still playing, but kind of going, what are they doing over there?
Wait, was Vertaritas lost?
Yes, he's just behind Swanee, I believe.
just behind Apricity. It goes Swanee, then Apricity, then Valthyricid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, but how does Swanee go? Oh, Swanee is so 16. Yes.
Yeah.
I only saw the 14 and was confused.
That's okay. So Varric, I'll let you decide what you want to do while I explain what's happened. The kid has thrown a handful of instant mist into the room, which means that anyone who doesn't have dark vision, you now can't see anything. The room has gone complete and utter blackness. Even the torchlight doesn't work.
Does that affect Teresa in the kind of other room?
No, it doesn't. You can see it's like a wall of black smoke around the door, but it only does one room at a time.
Okay, so
Homebrew, guys!
Where it was, it's just now black. I can't see.
Yeah, you can't see the torchlight. You can't see anyone. You can just see the open door. It's all just gone dark and misty. As she stringing the lute. This is ominous.
Can I roll to see if I notice this?
Just roll a straight d20 and add your perception. Sure.
-1.
Oh.
Okay, I didn't do too bad actually. I got a 15 in total.
Hey.
Nice.
You notice that the room has suddenly gone dark, and I'm going to say that everyone reacts to this. So you hear a sort of what or a you know, you hear a general noise of confusement.
Okay.
But you are a bit stuck, and this confuses you. So you're a bit stuck in place, and you're going last anyway. So you can mull on that.
I'll leave it there then.
Okay, Varric, do you have dark vision again?
Yes.
Okay, you can.
I also had an arrow ready.
You do.
I shoot
You
it.
can just about make out the kid. Like, your dark vision means that he's a dark shadow on an almost like dark grey room. Like, you can just about see where he is, but he is running towards the door, towards you guys.
I also have my bow more or less in his general direction.
Oh
already
yeah.
when I nudge the arrow.
You can absolutely take a shot, and you
I will.
don't have to roll with disadvantage because you can pretty much see him.
Okay. I had a quick question which I can't ask in the group, I think.
Do you wanna,
PM you for a second.
Yep, put it on a personal message. Is this before you take your shot?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone, talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, whilst you're doing that, I'm just going to run downstairs and get a drink.
Okie dokies.
I'm gonna go and get some water actually.
That's right, guys. Get some water before the fight. Do it.
Stay hydrated.
Just while I'm waiting for a message, earlier someone was asking about passive perception.
Yeah,
that was me.
Yes.
Is that because you've taken a feat or anything in it, or just because you've heard it and it's a confusing phrase?
It's on the character sheet.
Okay,
Yeah.
as in you've got it, yeah?
Yeah, I have an 11 in passive perception. I have no idea what that means.
It's okay. Basically, you haven't needed it yet. It's to do with creatures spotting you rather than you spotting them. It'll come up. It'll depend on the creature, and I'm not being too pernickety about it. But anyone who has it, if it comes up, you will. Oh, hang on a minute. He's messaged me. But yeah, it's to do with them spotting you.
Alright, thank you.
Sabina, what was the question that you asked? I just heard her say about the end bit of it. What did you ask about?
Passive perception.
Ah, okay, cool. Thank you.
No worries, be right back.
So who's here still?
I am.
Yeah.
Hey. So, Varric, can you tell me what your class and your race were? Because I forgot to take notes about everyone.
A wood elf ranger.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, so I just roll a d20 for my bow. I am proficient in it, but what do I add?
Your proficiency bonus, if that's on your sheet.
Yeah. Proficient in simple and martial weapons. Basically any weapon.
That's cool. Then, yeah, you can add your proficiency bonus to your attack roll.
Okay, but do I use dexterity as well?
Yeah, if that's what the weapon uses. Which one are you using? I'm gonna grab your character sheet.
Longbow.
Varric, longbow.
The only thing I don't know is if it has an attack bonus.
Attack bonus is 1d8.
Right? Awesome. In that case, I'll shoot him.
He's a kid.
I shall get lucky.
Okay. You only get one of those per day, though.
I know, but I rolled a 1.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, please don't shoot anybody else in the team yet.
So I added to that my dexterity modifier, my proficiency bonus, and then for the damage I roll a d8 and I'll add my dex again, right?
So far that's sounding correct. I don't have the player handbook up with me, but that sounds about right.
In that case, I probably hit him because 24 total.
Okay, yeah. You've hit him. Have you rolled your damage?
I'll roll my damage now. I forgot to roll a d8 for that. Or, well, I rolled a d6 for my d8, which doesn't work.
Kez is saying kill the child. Sorry, Fish is saying kill the child.
Don't kill the child.
3 plus my dexterity. I attack for 8 points of damage.
I'm so glad that the things we're typing aren't going to be picked up on the recording.
Except for mine.
Okay, 8 points of damage. Okay, cool. You catch the child. Sorry, 1 second. I'm making sure I've replied to everything.
Oh god.
Okay, so, and pausing for a minute, back on passive perception, as your levels get higher, it gets easier, but if you essentially turn it on, it can mean that you can spot something as you're walking around without having to announce it, as long as you use the passive perception. And it also means that creatures can spot you, but that's for me to, sorry, that's the DM notes on it. The DM notes are about creatures using passive perception, but anyway, back on the thingy, right, the kid has taken a shot, an arrow to the arm. I wasn't going to say knee because, well, you know, Skyrim. The kid takes a shot to the arm. He staggers back and very nearly falls over, but manages to keep running past, and he shoves past Varric, edges past another couple of you, hang on, and he makes it out of the door of the room, and he bumps full on into you, Orisa. So you're just playing.
Hit him with the loot, knock him out.
You're just playing the loot, and this unknown to you small ragamuffin Aladdin urchin-looking child comes running out of the room and like smacks you. You're a human, and he's like a human child, so he's like smacks you in like the belly button and like reels backwards, and you can see he's been shot with an arrow, and he's looking sort of a bit like winded and worried, and he sort of staggers back and looks at you.
Okay.
And you get a reaction to that if you like, if you want to do anything.
Orisa's just gonna be like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And she kind of like goes towards him.
Okay.
And kind of like tries to maybe like try and comfort him or something.
The kid doesn't speak. His eyes go quite wide. He takes a step away from you. He ducks under the arm you extend towards him, and he pelts away through the door on the other side of the room, which he unlocks with a key, and then you hear it lock again behind him.
Cool.
Okay.
Anyone with dark vision?
Chase after him.
Anyone with dark vision, you saw this happen, but you were too low on the list in order to go to get your reaction. If one of you had been one person higher, you would have done. But also, the kid ran faster than a human child should be able to.
Ooh, interesting.
Come on.
I am going to bolt directly after if I can.
So me and Veritas kind of arrive at the door at the same time, I guess.
Yeah. The door is the one on the other side of the room that you just came into. It's not the door you came from. It's the one across from you. You hear the key turn and the kid lock it behind him, and then you hear a as the kid runs off down the corridor beyond it.
Okay, well, I think we've lost the kids, so can I go further into the room with all the horrible dead bodies and investigate them to see if there's anything interesting for me to take?
You
While she's
can.
doing that, I'm going to smash this door.
Alrighty. Can you roll with your strength or an attack, depending on what you're... if you're just smashing it, then just a strength. If you're using a specific weapon, then roll for that.
It'll be the
And
Warhammer.
yep, roll with that one then. And whoever's looking in the room,
Electricity.
and presumably anyone who's still in there, you can see the bodies have died of starvation.
Oh god.
The oldest one is probably around a year old. They're various different people. Quite a few of them look like they're fairly well off. A few they look all walks of life, really, like fairly young, fairly old, but there's no children in here.
Okay.
You find claw marks around the door where they've attempted to try and get out. You can see several of the symbols that are painted on the wall have like been scratched away as if they've tried to rub it off the wall. And none of the bodies have anything particularly great on them. All of their gold is gone. They've got empty pouches. They've got marks where wedding rings and fancy jewellery would have been. That's all gone. They're mostly just in either undergarments or plain clothes now.
Wow. Okay. Do they all look like they've been put in like at different times, or do they all look like they've been shoved in all at once?
They look like they have been there over the course of a year. The oldest looks like it's been there for about a year. The most recent, probably about a month ago.
Okay, so it's
must-
not like one
No.
massive, like
No.
one
And
party
there's
getting pushed in there. It's lots of different individuals.
and there's
Okay,
about
cool.
half a dozen, so somewhere between 6 and 8. A couple of them are sort of lying on top of each other and have like started to disintegrate into each other, but it looks like two bodies. Just over the course of a year, you know, like the skin starts to dry and the bones and everything just goes all and yeah.
That's excellent description, thank you.
Your arrow was in him, I'm sorry. So you're an arrow down. Vitharius scored a 15. So you've managed to make a massive hole in the wooden door, which you can take a second swing at and force it open if you like.
So a second swing to force it open?
Yeah.
Unless you roll a 1.
You had to say that.
Yeah, don't jinx it, man.
And everyone waits with bated breath. Oh no. Okay.
Timo, I would say that.
Okay. In your enthusiasm to get the door open, you smack it. You're using the warhammer, yeah?
Yep.
You smack
Oh shit.
and you aim to go for the next highest point to smack a bigger hole in the door that you can all get through. And in your excitement, you pull it back a bit too hard. You smack the door and it goes through the same hole that you just made, pulling you in with it. And you smack your head on the top of the hole of the door, taking 1 point of damage.
How big is the hole in the door?
It's
Big enough for a tiefling to go through.
no. He's still on this side of the door. The warhammer is halfway through the hole, and your head is smacked against the top. Like, you've got splinters in your forehead now.
Did my horns do any damage?
Actually, yeah, sure. You've now got a hole that's the size of half a gnome.
Is it possible that acrobatic Arissa can get through that hole?
I'll let you roll for it.
Alright.
I'm gonna pull myself out and pluck splinters.
Okay. Fuming softly.
To be fair, Vitherus, you could like burn them all out in one go.
14 total.
Unfortunately, Thaumaturgy's not that good.
Okay.
Okay, you
It's
guys.
just a flat out cantrip.
Arissa manages to fit her legs through the hole and pull until she's up to her waist, and then with a bit of shimmying, she gets up to her shoulders, and she's got her right shoulder and her head still on the same side of the door as you guys. The rest of her body's out, and she's probably going to need a bit of a push.
I'm just going to stop pulling out splinters and go and give a shove.
Alright, just roll a strength check.
Ooh, that was so close.
Oh yeah, the loot is on the other side of the door.
Oh.
Oh, 21. Okay, cool. Yeah, he gives you a sort of, it's not a very nice shove, it's more a sort of douche. And you get a couple of splinters in your ears as you go through, and it's a very woof, and you sort of fall on your ass, but you're on the other side of the door. You're in another corridor.
Okay. But I'll just have a quick look around. Is there an obvious direction this kid's gone?
Well, allow me to show you.
Yay!
Alrighty. You have come out of the two bolted grey door in the centre room. You're now halfway down the corridor, and you can see it goes down to the bottom. There are two corridors, one furthest away, one closest to you, and there's also another unlocked door.
Okay, is there any way I'm going to be able to tell which way the kid's gone?
You could roll perception, see if you can see... actually, no, roll investigation, see if you can see any blood trail.
That's probably better. I've got a +1 instead of a -1.
Aww.
Am I still locked in the room?
Yeah, you guys are still in the room. You can keep breaking the door down, though.
I'm still in the dead body room.
Okay, 17 total. Okay, you can see what looks like it might be some blood heading down the corridor, but it stops just as you get to the L shape, so you can't tell where he's gone from there.
Okay.
He seems to have run past the door, but you can't tell beyond there. 16 for your next swing. Okay, yep, the door is now broken down in a haughty tiefling grump. The door smashes open and bounces off the wall, ricocheting, and you can all head through it now if you like. Someone might want to call to Apricity and Swanee and anyone else who's still in the room with the bodies.
Oh yeah. I'm still stuck in the body room as well, right?
You're not
mate,
stuck.
I'm kind of finding it hard to look at all these bodies that have started to like melt into one another. So if somebody could call me out of there, I would be very happy about that.
The dark mist has slowly evaporated because it only lasts for a minute.
I'm just going to turn around for a second and just bellow, "We're moving out now."
I ran.
Swanee
Towards
says,
the
"Coming!"
I'm gonna feel a little bit angered about being demanded to leave what I'm doing, but at the same time, I do not want to be in this room anymore.
What a good idea. Okay, you all head out through the door. Arissa, are you pointing out the blood you've seen?
Yeah, Yeah, I'm just like, guys, I don't know where to go. What about this kid? Oh my gosh, he's wounded, and oh my gosh, where is he? There's blood on the floor.
I don't believe he was human.
Arissa, he threw something at us. He's probably not a nice guy. We said something to him and he started throwing shit at us.
He started throwing shit at us.
Really fast.
I don't know. The guy was the one talking. I don't do the talking.
I asked him to show himself. He was hiding in the corner.
And it did not go well.
So, guys, do you think it's worth following this kid to see what's going on?
I want my arrow
You can
back.
actually track him.
I say no.
I want my arrow back.
It's one arrow, man. Here,
And I want to finish the job.
You did get some extra arrows from the dead bodies as
I was
well.
going to say, you got extra ones, just clean them up.
Ooh, how many did I get?
I'm going to say you got an extra 3 or 4.
Okay. In that case, I'm up by 3, so it's okay.
Okay. I'm pointing at the map, but obviously none of you can see. But the door you've just come out of is the lower one of the center room. You've gone down that first bit of tunnel. You can see a door off to the it'll be to your left, but on the map it's on the right. Yeah. And then the blood splatter is just in that corner ahead of you. The kid could have gone all the way down and up that corridor, or it could have gone up the top corridor. You've got 3 ways to go now.
Can I check the door for traps?
Whereabouts?
What, the one to the left?
Yeah, the door to the left.
The door, yeah, sure. You can roll a investigation.
What, sorry?
Investigation. Unless you're better at perception, in which case roll that.
No, it was fine with me.
You're such a kind DM.
Well, it can be either, to be fair, so.
Okay.
Yes, Swanee, you can roll investigation and look for where the kid went as well. Ooh, Reedy got a 21. Okay, the door is unlocked and untrapped.
Okay. Guys, should we check out this room?
Oh,
Ooh, a 25.
that's a 25.
Okay. You can see blood splatters that go further on downwards, but it looks as if the kid managed to stop the bleeding, and although it looks as if he's heading for the lower corridor, you can't be sure.
I think I'm going to take Redo up on the offer of checking out this room and open up the door and look for the kid in there.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'll join as well.
Alrighty. So who's gonna go into this room then? Or is it just the 2 of you?
Me as well.
So Varric, Redo, and Vitharius?
Yep.
Alright.
I'm gonna hang out in the corridor because I really don't trust anything Redo.
Oh, wait, before I go, which way did Arissa go? Like...
She's still with you. She's in the middle of the corridor. She's still with you.
Oh, okay. Why? All I did was shoot a kid.
She likes the horny guys.
Oh no, wait, hang on. You are a wood elf. Okay, I don't know.
Well.
Okay, so Varric, Vitharius, and Redo, can you all please roll me initiative?
Initiative?
Yeah.
Okay, 7.
Oh.
Wait, 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 just give me a second.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
I don't have a dex bonus.
Oh, mate.
I have +5.
Fisher is unimpressed.
Glyn, in the nicest way possible, what are you good at?
You'll find out when I get into a fight.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Okay, Redo, sweetheart, you're going first, except that you're not.
Oh.
Yes.
As you step into the room, you hear that noise again that you heard before, but this time so much closer. You hear... can you hear my dog snoring in the background? You can hear a... You can hear a... And as you round the corner into quite a small room, you see a den full of bones and bits of skeletons and stormtroopers, apparently. And...
As long as they hit like them.
Yeah, that's good.
So you see a nest full of rank decay and bones and rotted bits of flesh, and stalactites come from the ceiling and stalagmites hang from the floor, and you can hear rasping, gargling breath. And has anyone got dark vision in the three of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of you?
All of us.
Okay, you see coming towards you quite slowly, slower than you would have anticipated, 2 ghouls.